Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the company Grupo Exito, and we are going to be talking about two specific things. First, what are the strategies that we are going to be using against those risks that we already explained on the class? And also, what are we going to do with the budget that the teacher gave us, and how are we planning to use this money? So first, we're going to start with Juan Simon. So you can go ahead and start explaining the first of our risks, Juansi.
Okay, so our first risk, as we saw in the presentation, is losing market share due to competition with other retailers in a price-driven market. This is clearly a strategic risk. Every board of directors will always talk about how are we going to get more market share. So this is clearly a strategic risk, and it's become very important uh, in the context we're living in of the COVID-19, because a lot of people, a lot of people in the society right now, thanks to this pandemic, are losing their jobs or are losing their capacity to buy a lot of things. So price is going to be a clear and important um, factor that retailers should take into account in order to develop their strategies. And we know there are a lot of important new retailers as the Uno or Justo y Bueno that are based on price. So this is clearly a risk that Exito should consider in order to compete. So basically, we are suggesting a strategy that it already exists and it's very clear. It's a risk control strategy based on the normal course of business and planning. So the strategy is to strengthen the private label. Exito right now have a private label. They have Econo and Frescampo, and they have a private label that is not going to harm other other brands, and it will allow Exito to compete directly with price. So to strengthen our private label to directly compete with price without harming the regular brands, as well as developing uh, products that other retailers have and Exito does not. So we are going to invest $200,000. Basically, what we need to look into is first, which products are we going to focus on with the hook products, as you know, grain or cleaning products. We know that those are very hook products, so we have, of course, to focus on that. When we establish that, of course, we will have to develop those products and, of course, put that into the market through a marketing and advertising strategy according to the target market. So that will be risk number one. Now we're moving to risk number two, will be the participation of new online retailers such as Amazon to the Colombian market. This is clearly also a strategic risk. Also, in the context of COVID-19, we're seeing that these apps for deliveries are taking a lot of advantage in the market. And in the future, people is getting that habit of purchase. So definitely it's a segment of business that is going to develop real fast. So Exito, of course, has to do something to improve what they have and to compete with other delivery apps such as, I don't know, Rappi, Mercado. There's a lot of apps and delivery that are taking place right now. So that's the risk. Our strategy, of course, is risk control too. And the strategy is to strengthen our own online store and promote these services to buyers and sellers who would like to partner with Exito. Basically, the best way uh, to approach this risk is to strengthen the current uh, online store that was developed for a small niche, a small market that, thanks to the COVID-19, it's getting a lot of attention and growing so fast that is not enough what we have right now. And of course, we will have to improve it. For that, we know it is expensive to do this. we're going to spend $250,000. Uh, and basically, what we're going to do is to create a well-structured online store to compete with the growing competition. And also, very important too, is to invest in advertising and to promote these online products and services to buyers and sellers.
Okay, to proceed, we're going to be looking at our risk number three, which is the risk related to political regulations that might affect some of the products sold in Exito, as well as the general operation of the company. This is for sure an operational risk, and we would proceed with a risk control strategy. Here, we would set up a contingent capital. This way, we could keep the operation going while the political risk is at well is in action, since usually these measures tend to be um, temporary. This would help maintain the operation of the company while the risk is in action, as well as in case of the risk relating to products that can't be sold. For example, right now in the whole COVID-19 situation, there's a lot of restriction with the selling of alcohol and selling of of certain products. This will help us maintain the inventory and pay for that uh, excess storage that might be required. Also, in case of being a permanent regulation that might affect the operation, it will also help switch or make the changes that the operation might need to continue thriving. For this, we set aside $200,000 in budget to create that reserve fund of capital that will help us in times of this political risks that might appear. And we look at our risk number four, which is the fluctuation of the dollar currency rate that might affect imported goods such as corns, beans, amongst others. We see products like sauces, pasta, lots of things that Exito imports by themselves that might be at risks in cases of a strong variation of the currency as we're living right now. The strategy is also a risk control strategy that will consist in purchasing more product when the dollar is at a low, raising prices when the dollar is at high, that sometimes it has to be done, fixing dollar prices with suppliers when negotiating. When you have a regular supplier, you might be able to negotiate a ceiling and a base so that there is a fluctuation, but that it won't vary, it won't hurt you as much. Uh, and sometimes even having a stock, some money saved for when you have to sell with a negative margin to maintain the market share and keep the product available for your clients. For this, we will set aside $150,000. We would assign them to stock up in capital, as well as to take the hit when the market requires that lower price to maintain our customers happy with the product at hand.
Okay, then we have our last risk, and it's about reputational risk due to customer service, product, social, or economical concerns. Here, the strategy that we are going to use is risk control. And basically, here we have identified three things that we would like to do. The first one is to create a strategy, a training plan for all the employees of the company that have direct contact with the products. So this way we can prevent them from being mishandled or provide them with the enough information in order to customer. And we have internal control, internal and external as well. And here we think this is very important in order to create methodologies and also to have the specific points that the company should follow up. And finally, we have this important part, which is invest in social media. As Juan Simon mentioned before, we are planning to invest in online marketing, but I think it's not only important to invest in this, but also have the enough tools to approach this market, because we know this is going to give the company a very good reputation, or it's going to do the opposite. So for this, we have a budget of $200,000, and we would like to assign $100 to the first part of the plan, which is the strategic and all the training. And for the second part, which includes the internal quality control and the social media part, we are gonna be doing another $100,000. And here, we think that the company should hire, and not only to hire, but also to train the people that is already in the company, so they can go and they can have a better treatment with the clients. So this way we will try to have a better reputation and also to fulfill all the needs of them of this market. Finally, we have the conclusions, and we have go with 4 conclusions. And basically, we consider that is important here is that all this risk assessment will help us to prevent future losses, and also the importance of the management of the risk is to create the stability for the business operation. For example, the first one, we want to prevent the monetary losses, prepare for the competition, and finally ensure that all the customers have the products they love and they like to have, and they are available for them. And this is our final graphic, and this is how we'll be spending our $1 million. I don't know if you guys want to add something else, or we are good here now.
No, I think it's very clear. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention and for watching our video. And have a great day.